Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Two Shores, One Story. I'm your host, Matthew. How are you today? I'm doing well. I hope the weather is nice where you are. I think it'll be nice when this episode is released. At least I hope. Last week, I talked about my trip to Tokyo and seeing twice, but the trip did not end there, and so I want to talk about that this week, for this week's episode. And what I did, you might know, I went to Tohoku. Now, Tohoku is the north region of Honshu, so I have never been to Tohoku. I have been to, I guess thus far, I have been to 3 out of the 4 main islands. So, obviously, I live in Honshu. During my exchange, I went to Kyushu, I went to Nagasaki, and Okinawa as well. And then last summer, I went to Ehime, which is in Shikoku prefecture. So the last prefecture I have to visit is Hokkaido. But other than that, I have never really been north of Tokyo. Maybe Saitama counts, so I have been to Saitama. But other than that, I've never been to Tohoku. So I thought, what a great idea, because, Golden Week is the week after. There's one day on Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays ago, I believe, there was a day off. It was Showa no Hi, Showa Day. So why not take some time off and go to Tohoku? And that's what I did. So I booked buses. I booked a hotel. I stayed at a capsule hotel, which was an interesting experience. I'll have to talk about that. But yeah, I was just sitting in a cafe. I booked the bus to go there because I wanted to have this trip on a little bit of a budget. So if you're not on a budget, I think you would take the Shinkansen, and that's maybe the best idea. Taking the bus, I booked through Willer Travel. I think that's what it's called. And I selected a bus, and I didn't really think much of it, but the bus was for relaxing, and basically it was a nice bus, I guess, but I didn't like it that much. But yeah, I took the bus around, what time? 2, I think. Yeah, 2 p.m. around that time, and got on the bus, obviously. And yeah, I was surprised because each seat has like a hood, so you can like pull it down, and so your face is covered. And then in between the seats, between the window and aisle seat, there's like a barrier. So this bus was meant for privacy, which was good and bad. I like to talk, but I guess you can't do that a little bit. It's in Japan, you shouldn't really be talking on the bus anyway, so I guess that's fair to have those things set up. Yeah, but it was quite a long bus ride. It was maybe 6 hours. We had 3 breaks in between, and then I arrived in Sendai. And that's where I stayed. I stayed in Sendai, which is in Miyagi Prefecture. It is on the right side of Tohoku and in the middle. So below is Fukushima, above is Iwate Prefecture. And to the left middle is Yamagata. And maybe to the left bottom is Yamagata. Maybe? I don't know. And I was thinking, I do have a budget, but I don't think I should spend all my time in Sendai. So I decided before I took the bus what I would do. And I changed it a little bit because, what was it? I was thinking of visiting Yamagata Prefecture to see Gion Onsen. This onsen is famous because it is maybe the onsen used in Spirited Away. And it's a very nice village. It's really nice in the winter. But to get there was a bit complicated, especially with the budget, so I didn't do that. I was also thinking of going to an onsen in Fukushima that was used for the anime Kimetsu no Yaiba, specifically the castle. And that didn't work out either because it was too far. So I couldn't go to anime themed onsen. That not that they were anime themed, but they were used. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, I arrived in Sendai, and I'll tell you where I decided to go along the way, what I ended up doing. But I went to Sendai, and I said that the third time. So I walked to the hotel to check in. I stayed at a capsule hotel, so I did the setup reservation stuff. I just didn't pay, so I had to go there. I talked with the staff, we paid, and then I got my stuff. I got my key, and they explained to me what's nice about this place is called 9 Hours, and they're all over Japan, and they have an English and Japanese explanation of everything, so that was really handy. So I went in, put my stuff in my locker, took a little look around. I've never been to a capsule hotel before, so I was kind of curious, like what would happen. I saw the capsule, then I was like, oh gosh, like we'll see. But yeah. So I put my stuff in my locker, and then I decided to have a little walk around because it was still kind of early for me, and I didn't really walk a whole lot, being on a bus for 6 hours. So beside me was a busy street, and so I decided to look through it and quickly realized that that was not the street that I should have gone on. My friend was telling me on the way to Sendai, we were texting, and he said that Sendai has great nightlife. And I was like, okay. And it was true because this street, I think, was a red light district street, maybe. At least it was for specific needs, if you get what I'm meaning. So I walked, and like maybe a minute into walking, a guy asked me, do you want Japanese girl? Do you want a drink? Do you want a massage? And I said no, and I immediately decided to turn back and not go there ever again. So I just decided to walk around, just do a square, and avoided that area. But yeah, I just looked around, and that was kind of funny. I think I ate. Oh, yeah. So that day, I decided to get some type of chicken for dinner because I love chicken. And literally the day before, no, maybe Saturday, my friends and I went to a yakiniku restaurant. Not yakitori restaurant. And it's famous in Japan. It's called Tori Kizoku. And I think I talked about it last week, but it's a restaurant where you can get yakitori or any item is like 300 yen or so. So I went there, and I realized that, that place is nice and all, but it's great for more people. One person, it's expensive. So I only got two types of chicken and fries and a drink. And yeah, it was a bit too much. So I never went there again. But that was my first day. Then I decided to go back to the capsule hotel, get ready for bed. They give you a robe, so I decided to put that on. And I realized I don't like the robe because it's buttons. It's not like something you can just tie up, so it's hard to get off. So I only wore that robe twice. It wasn't my favorite. But yeah, I went into the capsule hotel, my capsule bunk, I guess. And, you're supposed to be quiet, and I was trying my best, but I have to climb up these stairs, so I made some noise probably. But yeah, I realized if you are a light sleeper or you don't like noise, capsule hotels are not your best friend because I can hear everything that's going on. Like people snoring, people walking, coughing. It was very difficult. If they're trying to get, I thought there was an earthquake the first day, but I think it was just someone trying to get into their capsule hotel. So, not recommended. Not if you want a budget, like it was great. I first for 5 days I spent about like ju ichiman ichiman, which is about $100 for 5 days, 4 nights, maybe 5 nights. Yeah. So for that, it's good, but other than that, not great. I think after doing it, I think maybe 3 days is max. After that, too much. Like I just can't deal with it. So yeah, that was my first day in Sendai. The second day, I went out of Sendai and I went to a town called Ishinomaki. This town is known for its marina. It has an anime museum as well, or manga museum for, what was it, Kamen Rider and other animes, but I wasn't really interested in those anime, so I didn't go to that place. But why I went to Ishinomaki is actually, it's not for the best reason, but in Ishinomaki in 2011, I think, March 11th, there was a big earthquake that hit Fukushima and also Miyagi Prefecture. And corresponding with that earthquake, there was a huge tsunami that greatly hit Fukushima and Ishinomaki. And in our English textbook for the third years, there is a story about an ALT who lost her life saving her students, and she was in Ishinomaki. So she passed away because of the tsunami. She got caught in it. But she, helped her students get to evacuate, and then she decided to ride her bike home, and she got caught in the tsunami. So before that, I was like reading on what to do in Sendai, Miyagi Prefecture, and I read about Ishinomaki and how, a big tsunami hit it. And I remembered the story about this ALT. So I decided to go there to, see it. And also, she loves reading. So her family started a foundation, a memorial fund that set up reading corners in schools. So as of now, there are 13 establishments that have Taylor Anderson, that's her name, Taylor Anderson Reading Corner. So I decided to go to one of them, and I wanted to go to one that she worked at, and I did some searching, and I found that she went to one school. I won't name it, but I decided to go there. So I called to make sure that I could come, set up the day, and I was supposed to be there at 4:30. So before that, I had a lot of time. So I walked to Memorial Park, beautiful view of the ocean, but also sad because you see this really beautiful torii gate and there's beautiful flowers. But if you look closer, you can see many, many graves and very sad. But it's also beautiful. So it was kind of a difficult time. And then there's steps that go down. So I walked down those steps, and then they led to the tsunami earthquake memorial museum type thing. So I went there first, and they show a little clip of everything, and then there's a tour guide. The tour is in Japanese, but there are English there is English available if you're interested in going, but the tour guide basically just walked through and talked about it. So because it was in Japanese and it's a bit difficult with the words. I didn't really like understand, but just looking at the graphics and hearing him, I could understand a little bit. But basically, what I want to say is, many people know about the Fukushima disaster. It was incredibly tragic because they had earthquake and then tsunami and then also nuclear problems. I forget the factory or something, it broke, or that's a terrible way to say that, but you know what I'm saying. But actually, Miyagi, in Miyagi Prefecture, Ishinomaki was hit the hardest, with about 4,000 people dying or injured. So it's quite heavy, and I felt quite sad going there after seeing the graves, and then also directly opposite of the museum is a school that is now ruins because of the tsunami, but you can see inside. But I just saw the school and then I went to the memorial, but it was so sad to see that school. Yeah, so I did the tour guide and the tour, and they graciously gave me some things, and I told them that I was there to, see Taylor Anderson, so they led me to her memorial. I walked there, and that was really sad. There's a little bench that you can sit at and just look at her memorial, and I did, and I, not gonna lie, I teared up a bit because it's heavy for sure. Just to I come from a place where there's definitely no tsunamis. Being from Alberta, Canada, we don't have any oceans, and we don't really have that many we don't have earthquakes, or at least if we do, we don't feel them at all. So it's difficult for me to understand tsunamis. I understand tornadoes a little bit, but tsunami I don't understand. And even seeing like the videos, it's still hard to wrap my head around it. And yeah, seeing Taylor Anderson and her memorial was really nice to do. It just was good, and I was happy to do that. So I stayed there for a bit, but I also was on a time crunch. So I said my goodbyes and I went to the school. And yeah, the Taylor Anderson thing was heavy, but the school was even more difficult to see because it's an elementary school. I work in elementary school. So seeing everything just destroyed was really hard to see. I took a lot of videos. So I'll have to show that. But yeah, just seeing when you first walk in, you see like a destroyed vehicle, and that was like, okay, wow. And it kind of reminded me when I went to Nagasaki. So I went to Nagasaki to see my friends, but I also went to the nuclear bomb museum, the atomic bomb museum, and it's heavy. It's not a happy feeling to go there. And you walk in and you're just immediately like sad. It's because it's so heavy, and that's what I felt like at this place. Just being welcomed with the sight of the destroyed vehicle was very difficult to see. Then you walk and you can see the ruins, and you see all the classes, all the desks and all the debris that there is because of the tsunami. And the staff room is completely destroyed as well. You can see the printer. It's just not good. The principal's office is destroyed too. It's just terrible. So I thought I would take videos. So I have a lot of videos of it, and I wanted to show my kids because my kids will learn about Taylor Anderson. So I wanted to kind of like show that to them. And I'm really excited to do that because I think we don't understand tsunami also being from Gifu because we're surrounded by land. We don't have any ocean. So that's great, but it's also difficult for us to understand as well. So when that time comes, I want to make a presentation about Ishinomaki and I want to show them that. And I'm excited to do that. So that'll be great. Yeah. So I spent time there, and then there's a video that played, and that was really good too. And then I had to walk back to the city center. I needed to go back to the train station to catch my train to go to the school. But I also didn't eat anything. I didn't eat breakfast while in Sendai because I'm on a diet. So I didn't have breakfast, but I also arrived. I didn't have time to get lunch basically. So I thought I had time for some reason. I thought my train would be leaving at 2:50 and it was 2:21, but actually that was when the bus was leaving. The train, sorry. So I actually didn't have time, but I went into a cafe that was also closing at 3 and I was there around that time. I felt terrible, but I ordered a taco rice and quickly ate it and it was delicious. And then I decided to walk to the school. And that was an hour and 19 minutes. So my feet were hurting a lot. My feet were killing me. But I walked to the school and I saw nice views and just was thinking about everything and listening to Twice. I made a Twice playlist of the set list that I listened to, so I just listened to that on my way, and it was a great pump up that helped a lot. So I made it to the school, and it was just funny because the kids are saying hi to me, and some kids thought I was a teacher there. Nope. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, I made it to I went to the middle school, not elementary school. I went to the middle school, and I was greeted by a teacher. I don't know. I think she might be the librarian, or she was a Japanese teacher, but I was greeted by her, and we went to the library, and she showed me the reading corner, and there's a lot of books about Taylor Anderson, which is great. So a lot of the foundation has made these books, so some of them aren't available. They might be only available in Ishinomaki or places that have the reading corner. So I took pictures of the stories because I wanted to show the kids more of her. And there's also like a lot of other books. So I took a picture of the corner as well. And yeah, it was really, really just amazing to see. And I want to try and get some books about her if I can for the library at my school. But we'll see. But it was nice. I was only there for about 15 to 30 minutes. And then I walked back to the train station. And this time I took the right train. Which is good because my feet were hurting. I could feel like my feet getting blisters. It was a terrible time. I was so tired. So I walked and limped to the train station. I got my ticket. I went to Ishinomaki train station. I paid. And then I had to wait 30 minutes or so. Maybe 50 actually. So I went to Aeon grocery store and I got what I thought was a normal size zero Coke, but it was just it was big. So I drank that and I bought myself Kinoko no Yama no Sato, which if you want to know, I did a taste test and I put it on the podcast. There's two types of chocolates in Japan that are kind of have a heavy debate, and that's mushroom sato and bamboo shoot sato. And I did a taste test on the podcast, which I think is kind of an interesting thing. So if you're interested in hearing about my thoughts about the chocolate, please listen to that episode. But I like Hishinoyama, so that's what I got. And just waited for the train. Then I made it to Sendai, and then what did I do that day? I forget what I did. But I was thinking of going to Matsushima, which is a place in between Ishinomaki and Sendai. But I was just tired, so I decided just to go home. I think that's what I maybe did. I don't exactly remember what I did that day. But the next day, I went to Matsushima, and what a beautiful place! It was so pretty. Um, surrounded by surrounded by the ocean as well. A beautiful bay. In Japan, apparently, there's like a top 3 views, and it's one of the top 3, and it was great. So I watched a video from Chris Broad, and Chris Broad is an English fellow from London, maybe, but he has been living in Japan for quite some time. And he used to be in Sendai as an ALT. He used to work in Miyagi, I think. So him and his friend did a little what to do in Sendai. So I watched that video and it was very helpful. So thank you, Chris, if you're listening. Maybe not, because you have more things to be doing. But thank you, because I used it quite a lot. So they suggested to go to Matsushima, which I did. And then they said you should go to this temple, Etsuin Temple, I believe is what it's called. And I think there's something to do with Miyagi and Date Masune. I think Date Masune, maybe, who was a daimyo, maybe, I think. Don't quote me on that. But he tried to unify Japan. He couldn't, but he tried. And his son was maybe, there's a mausoleum for him at this temple. And I walked in, beautiful temple. Beautiful area. There's a nice garden there. There's a rose garden too. So pretty. But I ended up joining a tour. I didn't plan to, but I did. And the tour guide was really funny, which is always good when they're kind of like, I find it actually more interesting when they're funny, because you listen more, I think. Maybe that's just me. But that's what so I joined him, and he was telling us all about the mausoleum. So I don't know the name, but maybe the son of this guy really liked Western culture, and he also was interested in Christianity. So there are some, when you see his area, you can see different symbols. So card symbols like diamond, spade. You can see clover, maybe, hearts as well. And also there's crosses and different things. So he was showing us where to look, and that was interesting. And I took a picture for my kids to try and see if they could find it. And then he's telling us all about what was going on then. And at the end, he was talking about the tsunami. So that was also good to hear him talk about that. And yeah, just a great time. It was really nice. A nice time at the temple, and really beautiful. So I took a lot of pictures. And then I went to a confectionery store, I believe, to get a kinton sandwich, which is what Chris recommended. So I got that with some milk, and it was very tasty. Not filling, but tasty. I needed more food for sure. After that, I walked around the bay, and I paid a few yen to walk across the bridge and walk along this island. But then I had to hurry because I decided to do a half day in Matsushima, and then I would go back to Sendai to go to this gyutan restaurant, because gyutan is famous in Miyagi prefecture in Sendai. And then I wanted to watch a movie, because we don't have the luxury of having a movie theater in Takayama. So it's nice just to walk to a movie theater. And oh my gosh, was it ever. But yeah, so I had to go. So I rushed to the train. I made it to the train, caught my connections, went to this restaurant. It opened at 5. I was there at like 4:50, waited for a bit, went in, ordered gyutan, and actually it wasn't that good, which is very sad because I went to a restaurant that was quite hefty. I paid like $20, like ni sen hapyaku. Yeah, I paid 2,800 yen for 6 pieces of gyutan, and they were not that tasty. I ended up having to put like pepper and salt to make it taste better. I It just wasn't that great, which is really sad. But anyways, I ate that, and then I went to back to Sendai station, and I walked to Parco, which is a mall franchise. Um, for the like, it's like what's it called? Parkview in Canada, maybe. I think that's what we have. Parkview. Yeah, but there they have a movie theater. So I booked my ticket and I decided to go to this one show that seemed interesting just looking at it, but I didn't read the synopsis or anything. But the the English title was like Our Last Goodbye, I think, or something like that. And on the cover it was a boy and a girl. So I thought that it was like a romance story about them, something happens. But was I ever wrong? Um, I got my popcorn, my salt popcorn, and a drink, and I love Japanese theaters because you get this cool tray that you can put the cup in, and then you can put the tray in your cup holder, so it holds the tray. It's amazing, just amazing technology. But anyways, I started, watching the show, and basically the girl can talk to dead people, which is fun. Um, she can talk to their ghost. And she ends up working because she helps this guy, you know, Trent, deal with his wife and child dying. She gets hired for at this funeral place, and yeah, so that was it just such an interesting movie. It was okay, and I was emotional at some points, but it wasn't like wow. Um, but there were other movie options, but I wanted to save them because I might watch some movies with my friends, like Super Mario. Yeah, but it was interesting. So I did that, and then I got a Kit Kat Chunky and went back to the Capsule Hotel the next day. So that was Wednesday. So Thursday, I went on an outing. I decided to go to Morioka, Iwate, because I can take one Shinkansen, and I wanted to always go to Iwate. I've always wanted to go there because my favorite YouTuber, Charla in Japan, went there. And Morioka is actually Victoria's sister city. And I used to live in Victoria. So I wanted to visit Morioka. And I did. So I took the Shinkansen, and it was a great Shinkansen. Arrived, and I went straight to Iwate Park, where the castle ruins are, and you get a beautiful view. And I was so blessed with great weather. I could see Mount Iwate looking amazing, and it was great. So I just walked and enjoyed the scenery, and then I was hungry, and in Iwate, in Morioka, they're known for their noodles. So there's 3 types of noodles you can get. One is jajamen. There's another one where you can like do a bowl challenge and eat so many soba noodles, which I didn't want to do. And then there's also cold noodles, reimen, which I'm not a fan of. Actually, I'm not really a fan of noodles altogether. I like rice a lot better, but because I'm in Morioka, I will get jajamen. And it was great, but I went to a famous restaurant called Pai Show, and it was not Pai Show, that's Avatar. Paido, maybe? Yeah. I went there. So there was a line, and then a guy comes and he asks like what you want. So I said jajangmyeon, and then he's asking me about the size, and I was thinking, look, I'm really hungry. I kind of want to die, but everyone's picking Chew, so I'll pick Chew. And luckily I did because Chew was huge. It was so big. It was just crazy. So I ate that, just delicious, and it took me a while to eat because I'm bad at eating noodles. But then the cool thing about this store, maybe I don't know if that's the same for other places, but once you have like a mouthful left, you save that and then you ask if you can have some broth, and then or first you mix an egg into it, and then you ask for broth, and then it becomes an egg noodle dish called chitan. And that was tasty as well, but I'm not like a fan of it, so that was okay. Um, then I went to a kisaten, which is like a traditional Japanese cafe. I was thinking that maybe Charla would have gone here, so I went there and I ordered an ice cream and a walnut bar, and the ice cream came out and I was shocked. It was huge. It was not meant for one person. I laughed and the staff owner laughed. I was like, well, I have to eat this. So, and it's really fancy. You can only have two options for sauces. So there's coffee liqueur, which I don't like coffee. So I was like, no, thank you. There's also like a chocolate cocoa liqueur, and it actually has some alcohol in it. So that was fun. Um, it was tasty, but a lot of ice cream. Oh my goodness, it was huge. It was so big. Crazy. Yeah, so I did that. Um, ate the ice cream and I walked along to see the river. Beautiful view of the river, and I got a great view of Mount Iwate. And then I just walked around. I wasted time until uh, lunch, or not lunch, but around 5 p.m. I think there was maybe 4 actually. I don't remember. But there was a place that Charla mentioned in one of her videos, and it's a kind of an alcohol a bar. And she went with a friend, so I decided to go there. And actually, I found out that the place she went to is no longer, it doesn't exist anymore, but there's this one. So anyways, I went there and I had a few drinks. What did I have? I had umeshu on rock on ice because that's what I get. I like that. And also Charla ordered it in her video, so I thought I'd be like her. And then I asked, I do like Nihonshu, which is like sake. So I asked them like what they have, and I guess like every day they feature different sake. So I got that, and I think I got another refill of it, maybe. I don't remember. And I think I got a lemon, sour, and water. And just had a great conversation with the people there. But then I felt an animal like sniffing me, and I was freaked out because I was on the corner nearest the door. And I looked, and there was this cute Shiba Inu named Sakura, and her owner came in, and yeah, the owner of the bar like had some snacks for the dog, so she fed some, and then she let me feed her, and I pet her, and she really liked me a lot, which is so nice because I love dogs so much. It was nice that she liked me, and actually she like wanted to hump me. um yeah, I found that out later, but but she ended up a few minutes later she ended up sitting on the table, no, the chair next to me while I was drinking. It was kind of cute, but that was fun. And then after that, I went to an Irish pub, and also suggested by Charla, not shown. She wasn't in She didn't actually go there, but when she was in Sendai, she often went there. And it was great. It was a really fun vibe. And I was so excited because I saw that they had chicken strips and fries, which is like my all time favorite meal. But unfortunately, they were not chicken tenders, they had bones in them. So that was a bit sad. But I got a drink. I think I got root beer, which I don't often get. It's kind of weird. I never got root beer in Canada, never ever. But now that I'm in Japan, I if there's root beer, I'll mainly get it. It's kind of funny. But yeah, that's what I did. And then I went home after that. I was ready to leave. It was a nice time, but I was ready to leave. And then the next day I went to Fukushima, and that one I was able to take a local train, which is awesome. So I took I think it was like a local train with a connection, and then you take another train to go to, well, I decided to go to Izaka Onsen Village. So I took a train that directly goes there, and it was rainy that day, but that's okay because I was in onsen, so it's kind of calming a bit. So that's what I did. Oh, which reminds me, that's what I did after I went to Ishinomaki. I went to an onsen because my legs were tired, and it was a really nice onsen. But anyways, aside, yeah. So I went to this onsen village in the morning, and it was great, really cool. Actually, it wasn't cool at all. The water was so hot; it was like 45 degrees Celsius, or like 42 to 45 degrees Celsius, so hot. But I went to two onsen, one of which Matsuo Basho was said to go in his travel diary journals. He went to this onsen. So I was like hesitant on going because I knew that one was hot. I looked at Google and said it's hot. And, but also like I was kind of worried about my finances then. But I decided to do it because Matsuo Basho went to this onsen and I had to do it. So I went in and well, there was no place to wash yourself, which I didn't know what to do. So I just sprayed hot water on myself and a few times, and the people there didn't complain. There's a few old men there and maybe a middle-aged guy, and they were all very nice because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is really hot. So they're like helping me get in. So they gave me like a basket, and I put water in there, and then I like put it over my legs a bunch of times to kind of get used to it. And then I slowly go in, but my feet are like tingling. It's so hot. But I end up going like, neck deep, and I'm there for a bit, and then I go out and I take a breather, and then I go back in. Then I went back in. So I did it twice, and that was enough for me. I think the third time I would have cooked. Yeah. But then after that, I went to a foot bath, and that was really relaxing. And then I decided to walk to, well, before that, before the second onsen, I went to a place that specialized in pancakes, and it was okay, but they never give you enough maple syrup. That's just my issue. So they just don't do that in Japan. It's very sad. So they were like excited because I'm Canadian and they had this maple syrup, but it was maybe like, I don't know, it wasn't that great. And just dry pancake, and I paid a lot of money, so I was kind of sad about that. Anyways, but he was telling me places to go to, and he suggested this leaf gallery, and I was like, okay, so I did. I I was thinking that if it would costed 1,200 yen, I wouldn't, or over 10 yen, 10,000, 1,000, goodness, 1,000 yen, I wouldn't go, but I ended up actually going. It was 1,200 yen. But basically, what it is that this guy who has ADHD makes art with leaves. So he makes like little pictures. I guess he trims the leaf, and that's all it was. So he took a picture of the leaf, and you can see the leaf itself, and it's quite intricate. It's quite cool, but I was kind of tired by then, so I didn't really enjoy it. But I wanted to take pictures to show my kids, so I did. And then I went back home. I went back to Sendai, and then I wanted enough time to get omiyage, and I got the cheapest thing that I could find, which I like. That's always my rule, is that I have to like it. And I always like sweet things, so I got a Zunda bar. And what Zunda is like edamame, and this was also recommended by Chris, so shout out to you again. But he suggested to get a Zunda milkshake, which is like an edamame milkshake, which sounds quite gross, but it's actually so tasty. Like basically it's like vanilla milkshake and then bits of edamame, and it's like a little bit salty, really tasty. So if I had more money, I probably would have gotten a Zunda milkshake every day, but also I was on a diet, so couldn't do that. But yeah, I got omiyage, just enough for everyone that I needed to get one for, and then I went to McDonald's, and then I went to my capsule hotel, and I had my last sleep in the capsule hotel, which I was so excited about because I was so tired. I was ready to leave there, and I woke up quite early and caught my bus at 6:50, did not sleep at all on the bus, and then I had lunch in Tokyo, went to McDonald's again, and then I read for an hour, met my friend who I met Liam, and then if you don't know who Liam is, I mentioned him last week, but he also has an episode on the podcast, but I met him, and then we took the bus to Takayama, and it was an okay bus, but then I got like, I had a Coke, and then I had a ginger ale. I had Kinoko no Yama, and then I had we were playing a chess game, and it was getting really hot. I was like dying, so I felt really sick. And we were supposed to meet his friend to go to karaoke. I was thinking I couldn't go, but once I arrived in Takayama, I felt the fresh air, the fresh crisp air, and I was better. So I was happy. And that was my trip. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that maybe if you ever want to go to Tohoku or Sendai, that I have given you some ideas on what to do. I did Tohoku. I visited half of Tohoku, so next time I need to visit Akita, Yamagata, and Aomori. And that will be the next trip someday. I don't know when, but yeah, it was good. Good trip. So thank you so much, and I will see you later.